Come on in, honey. The lantern's lit, the veil's a little thin, and the wind's been dying to carry a few secrets your way. Welcome to Raven's Ramblings, where the shadows walk beside us and the past never stays buried, and a good spell can speak louder than a sermon. I'm Raven Nightingale, part healer, part hellraiser, keeper of the old ways and ghost stories alike. So pull up a chair and listen close. You never know what might be whispering in the dark. Welcome back to Raven's Ramblings, where the witchy, the weird, and the wildly magical come together. I'm your host, Raven. Sup? And today we're going to dive into I think it's a fun but powerful tool for protection, reflection, and sometimes on the darker, grayer side of things, a little bit of revenge. So, we're going to talk about mirror boxes. All right. So, let's start with the simple stuff. What is a mirror box spell? Well, at its core, it's really kind of a magical trap. All right. So think of it as a box shaped boundary. It's going to be lined with mirrors or some type of reflective material, and it's designed to bounce energy back towards some. So whatever they're putting out, it's going to pop back to them. And then you can kind of accentuate that with different herbs and stuff and kind of go from there. So you pop in a tag lock that's like a personal item or their name, a photo, whatever. Whoever it is you're trying to reflect their energy back to them, pop it into the box and boom. And you don't have to do anything more than that if you don't want to. And that kind of keeps whatever nastiness they're putting out locked in there and turns it back on them, kind of like a boomerang, like a ricochet kind of thing. All right. And mirror boxes are fantastic when someone is slinging energy your way, whether it be malice or manipulation or gossip or just bad vibes, you know. Maybe somebody's talking about you at work and you don't have a clue why, but you've had enough of it. So you put them in a mirror box. But here's the twist about mirror boxes. Okay, they can be used very gently, just for basic protection. Simple, super simple stuff, right? Or on that darker, grayer side, they can be cranked up to a full-on shadow work for hexing. Because I don't know about you, but I like a versatile tool kind of thing. You know what I'm saying? So let's start with the kind of harmless version. So, well, I say harmless. It's not really harmless, but it is more protective. Okay. So if you're being spiritually attacked or just feel like somebody's aura is just way too nosy for you, a protective mirror box is really what you would go to. So you would take, watch this, show and tell. You would take a small box like so. Now, this one is just a plain wood box. It, I would prefer it to be black, but homie ran out of time and I didn't paint my little box black. However, it does need to be lined with like aluminum foil or mirrors, something reflective. Okay, I have mine lined with little mirrors, and you can see my all my reflecting stuff in there. Now these are just little craft mirrors, and then I've got like little sticky tags. Does that make sense? Here, I'll show you one that doesn't. So it's just a little craft mirror, easy peasy. You put the little stickum on the back of it, peel it off of there. It's ready to stick in whatever you need it to stick in. Okay, super simple. Of course, now I have one stuck and I don't have any more room in my box, but we're just gonna stick it back in the little bag. There we go. So you take this small box, line it with your foil or your mirrors, and inside it you're gonna place your tag lock. Okay, So that could be anything, really. If you have something personal of theirs, you could just write down their name. Like I have a piece of paper that says name, because I'm not putting the name I'm going to use for my mirror box on out there. So at that point, what you can do is you would wrap it. You could wrap it in full, or you could just leave it as paper. Now, at that point, you could also add different herbs. Like if we're just doing a basic protection box, so we're just protecting ourselves from whoever it is on our paper, you could use something like rosemary. Rosemary is a very good protective herb. What else do I have? Oh, bay leaves. Bay leaves are great protection. You could also use things like rue or black pepper. I have my black pepper jar. Mm-hmm. And you would kind of put all that, or at least I would put all that on top of my paper, and then I would kind of fold it up and make like its own little envelope, so it kind of holds all those herbs and stuff in there. I'm just kind of folding this one up so I can kind of show you what we're going to do. All right. So now you have your folded piece of paper, right? And this has got your herbs and your tag lock, whether it be a name, a photo, whatever, in your paper. Now you need to take, if I get my, I don't know if y'all can see this, probably not. Oops. It's just black thread. Okay, now you could use ribbon or cloth or whatever you want, honestly. And you're just going to bind it around your thing. Okay. I don't know why I'm taking so much time to do this because, well, it doesn't have a real name on it yet. So you would tie that off like so. Now, and this is always my favorite part because I love wax. I've been fascinated with wax since I was a child. So once you've got that all tied up and everything and ready to go, you're going to seal this with wax. So wherever your threads are meeting, you can tie those in knots and stuff. And then you can take a black candle, like so, light it, let it melt a little bit, and then pull it out and kind of drip it onto that connection. Or if you're like me and have gotten bougie in your old age, if you have something like this for wax seals, like so, you can use that. And they come in a variety of colors. I have my black ones right there that I'll be using because I'm old and try to be fancy. But then you would use that to kind of seal that thread off, okay? And then at that point, we would take it and put it into said mirror box, close that up, and you could even go that extra step and actually seal the latch on the mirror box. So if you have, like this one does have a little latch on it, and you would close that down and then hold it to the side and pour your wax over your latch, like so. Okay, and then that seals the whole thing in here. Nothing's getting out of it. It's good. Okay. And then you could say something simple like, and focus on that person, what they've been doing, what they've been saying, that kind of stuff. And say something like, what you send, you shall now see. Your harm returns, it touches not me. Yeah, that's kind of goofy, isn't it? But you see what I'm saying. So you can have that, you know, send everything back to them. So then you would take your box, tuck it away somewhere in a dark space, the bottom of a closet. You can bury it, but if you're going to bury it, like if you're wanting to make it more permanent like that, you would bury it away from your home, away from your energy, that kind of stuff. If it's something you're just kind of wanting to have somebody kind of chill out for a little bit, well, I mean, a freezer spell would probably work a little bit better, but this would also work because it's going to send it back to him. So then you would take it into that dark space, leave it there, and then when you're ready, you would take it apart and do what you need to with the remnants. Okay. So that's super simple, safe, strong, right? Basic stuff. Now, we're going to do another version. We're going to get a little bit spicy. This is a little hexier version. Yeah. So let's say you've been betrayed or attacked, or you're trying to find justice for yourself or for someone else. A hex mirror box steps in and it does not play. Now, this is going to be very, very similar to, you've heard me talking about putting bitches in jars. Very, very similar. Okay. Super, super similar. So you're going to start off, of course, with that box again. So whether you use those little craft mirrors or use foil, that's totally up to you. Okay. Totally, totally up to you. Now, with this one, we're taking things up a little bit. So you're going to use things like something sharp. I have somewhere urchin spines that I would put in one. Super pointy, they hurt. You want something a little bit more, you know. So if you have broken glass or a rusty nail, that kind of stuff, you want to bind that with your tag lock. So that's this part. This is our tag lock. So we're going to still have our name or our description or our photo or whatever and put it on that paper. But we're going to add those more baneful herbs like, I know I have some. Oh, here's a good baneful one. This is wormwood. Wormwood is good. What else do I have? I have chili. Chili is good. Cayenne pepper. Cayenne pepper's really good. And then, and you can still use things for the protections and stuff to put on, I would say on the outside, because it's whatever you're trying to protect from this. So that's totally up to you. So you could still use like the rosemary and stuff just to kind of add an extra protection layer between the box and you. Okay. Now, my favorite thing in my herbal cabinet is this. This is really hard to get. Um, it's very, very rare. And I will actually pull one out and show you. I don't know if you can see that very well on the YouTube, but that is a gallstone. Think about how painful a gallbladder attack is. Gallstones are pretty painful. So when I would work something like this, I would use something like a gallstone. Now those particular gallstones are my gallstones, so that makes them very personal for me. So I'm going to be using those very sparingly because it's not like I can just run and get any more, right? But for the right person, I'm sure I'll use one or two. Now, you could still use other things like mustard seed and poppy seed and just little things like that. Some people would put in like a pinch of graveyard dirt if you're just feeling a little extra witchy. You can spit on the paper or use a drop of your own blood to kind of seal your intent. Some people get a little twerky about that. You don't have to use blood. That's totally up to you. Some people don't mind doing those things. That is a personal preference kind of thing. All right. You do not, let me repeat that. You do not have to add your bodily fluids in your spells at all if you do not want to. That is never a requirement. Okay? Period. And don't let anybody tell you that you have to do anything, number one. But yeah, just keep that in mind. So this version, this more hex-y version, is a full energetic lockdown. All right. It is not just bouncing that person's energy back to them. It is trapping and curdling their influence over you. All right. This is not just some simple protection thing. This is a you have fucked around and found out. That's what this version really is. Okay. So you could say something like mirror bound and silence be, your harm reflects and drowns in thee. That sounds super fancy, doesn't it? So then you would wax that box shut, just like we talked about with the protection one. Okay. Waxing it shut seals everything in there. All right. And then, of course, you can hide it in the bottom of a closet. I don't recommend it with this, the more hex-y version. I think you need to get this away from your personal energy. Um, Now, with the protection one, it's super simple. It's not baneful. It is just for your protection. It is just to stop someone in their tracks. Okay. The baneful one, or the more hexy version, it has weight to it. Okay. It's not bad, but it is serious. All right. You're not going to throw something like this at just a petty argument. You know, you use this when someone has truly fucked around and now they need to find out. Okay, don't use this lightly. This is super strong, super potent magic. Okay, and honestly, if you don't think that your wards and stuff are up to snuff just yet, I wouldn't do this. This is something you 100% need to have a protective circle. Um, have your wards in place very well. This, if I was working this particular magic, it's one I would do outdoors. Actually draw out a chalk circle and put up a full sacred circle for something like this for my own protection. Period. This is not something I'm just going to do right here in my altar room. This is something that needs to be away from my day-to-day energy. But that's just me. Okay. You do you, boo. I can't control you. All right. So, with all magic, your intent matters. All right. Mirror boxes are about control, about reflection, about boundaries. Set your boundaries, they're important. You're not summoning demons or cursing someone's bloodline. You're saying your energy, your consequences. All right. You have fucked around and now you are finding out. Simple, right? And you can always undo these spells, or at least these. You can um, go dig it up wherever you've buried it, or pull it out from the bottom of your closet, whatever. Unwrap the bundle, cut the wax through, unwrap the bundle, burn that bundle, which was our tag lock. That's this thing. Burn that with some purification herbs. Release that energy at like a crossroads or in some flowing water. End it with a purpose, not guilt. Okay. So you can still reverse this. However, it's not super easy. So that is my ramble about mirror boxes and being the magical version of I'm rubber and you're glue, except, with herbs and fire and probably some graveyard dirt. I need to go pick some of that up. So whether you're shielding your shit, let me find my brain again. It's almost 5 a.m. So I'm like, blah, blah, blah. So whether you're shielding yourself or sending a message to someone who really, really should have left you alone, mirror boxes are a tool worth keeping in your witchy arsenal. But respect them. Please, please respect them. Use them wisely. And don't forget, you are powerful, protected, and absolutely not to be messed with. Okay? So until next time, keep your circle strong and your mirrors polished. All right. And if you love this bonus episode, don't forget to like and share and subscribe. Leave a review to keep those algorithms picking it up for other people. Um, if you want more shadow magic like this, let me know. Maybe you do, maybe you don't. We'll see. If you like this more ritualistic kind of stuff, where we're going over little bits and pieces, let me know that too. So stay witchy, stay wild, and I'll see y'all next time. Bye.